Okay, let's talk a little bit about advertising. So, advertising, what is advertising? Well, really, advertising is the way that you communicate and where you communicate with your potential clients. Now, the thing about advertising is that there are a lot of different ways to look at it. Most studies out there suggest that there's actually a need for about 5 to 20 touches to make a sale. Basically, what this means is that it requires 5 to 20 contacts where you actually somehow communicate with people about your brand before they actually contact you. Okay? So, for example, let's say there's a new restaurant that opens up in your city or town, and do you just go out to that restaurant? Well, likely you probably don't, unless you live in a very small city and there's only one or two little restaurants around. You might feel like, okay, well, I should go to this restaurant. Where I live, there's literally hundreds, maybe thousands of restaurants, and I don't feel the need to go to every restaurant, nor do I even have time to go to every restaurant. So for me to actually go to a specific restaurant that opens up, I need to hear about it. I know at least 5, maybe 10 times before I actually decide, okay, I need to go to this restaurant. So for example, I may hear about it from one of my friends. Maybe they give me a referral and say, hey, they have really great Thai food. You need to go check this place out. That's probably not enough for me to actually go to this place because, I have places that I routinely go to that I already really like and enjoy. Now, maybe I see an advertisement of that business and that business name in the newspaper. There's another touch. Maybe I hear about it on the radio. There's another touch. Maybe I hear it on the news. There's another touch. Maybe another 2 of my friends say, oh, it's the best Thai food around. You have to go. And at some point, there's going to be enough touches where I'm going to decide, okay, now, yeah, I should probably make this a priority. So remember that part of advertising is remembering that typically people need a lot of contact before they will actually pick up the phone and contact you. I literally had one client come in for an evaluation one time, and I asked her how she had heard about my training company, which I do to all of my clients, and I suggest all dog trainers do, so that you can understand a little bit about like where some of your referrals are coming from, what marketing and advertising is being effective, and so on. So she goes on to tell me how one of her colleagues had worked with me. She was one of my clients, and she said very good things about me. Her veterinarian referred her to me. Her previous dog trainer referred her to me, of all people. Another one of her friends referred her to me before she actually contacted me. So some people, it takes a really long time for them to actually call you. Just remember that. And that's, most people not just, go into Google and find your website and call you from there. It usually takes quite a few touches before that actually happens. Car signage, I believe, is worth so much when it comes to trying to get your logo and your branding actually out there. And basically, I have had people call me before who are like on the road, on a road trip, for example, who say, hey, I was just driving and I saw your vehicle and I had to call you because I see that you're a dog trainer. No. So it's very effective. It's pretty inexpensive to get a decent lettering job done. Don't feel the need to get a full vehicle wrap. Those usually cost at least $2,000 to $3,000. Just a good lettering job with your website, phone number, maybe logo and business name on it shouldn't cost you more than $300 to $500, and it will be a very, very wise investment. You can also get these little card holders on top of those that you can actually, that kind of stick to the side of your vehicle, and you can put cards in there and basically keeps the rain out, which are really, really handy. I have quite a few friends that have those on their vehicles, and they actually get a lot of calls from that. So car signage can be very beneficial, and a card holder on the side of your vehicle also. Veterinarians, dog walkers, groomers, people who are in the industry can be a really amazing avenue for advertising, which we're going to talk about a little bit more on the next slide. So your biggest advertisement will always be a referral. So this is why I always tell people that they have to be really putting their best foot forward when it comes to working with their clients. It's not okay to give people decent service. We really need to be focused on making sure that we are under promising and over delivering. I'm going to say that again because I don't have it in the slide. Under promise, over deliver. That's really important because it will almost ensure you a referral from your clients. Now, getting actual referrals from veterinarians is not all that simple. I'll go through it a little bit with you, and I'll give you some other resources as well. But typically veterinarians, anybody who works at a veterinarian clinic, including vet technicians, even the front desk staff, tend to have a very high weight associated to their referrals. For example, what I mean by this is to say that if you were to meet somebody in the park tomorrow who is just a person who's there with their dog, how much weight would you give to them suggesting a dog trainer to you? Now, maybe if they're a nice person, you decide, okay, well, this is great. They're referring and they seem like a really nice person. But you're probably, if you're asking your veterinarian, you're probably gonna really place a lot more emphasis on that because you would assume that your veterinarian knows a little more about dogs, dog training, and so on than the person in the park. And this is how most people think that are your average pet owners that are looking for help with their dogs. They're going to place a lot more emphasis on the veterinarian referral than, even maybe what one of their family members suggests for dog training. This is why I spend so much time going after veterinarian referrals, and I've built a huge veterinarian referral system. And I honestly believe that my business has been built on veterinarians. I have received countless veterinarian referrals over the years. I have educated hundreds of veterinarians, and it has been amazing for my business. So how do you actually get a veterinarian referral? I'm not going to go into that because it is a huge process and it's a little bit too involved to be putting into this course. However, if you go to my website, tedteaches.com, you can get a free audiobook and a PDF that will walk you through the entire process. So I also want to chat a little bit about how do you get a testimonial from every client. This is actually really simple to be doing, but you have to ask yourself, why don't you get testimonials from clients? So for example, why do clients not give testimonials? Okay, there's a couple different reasons why. Some people say, I'll do it when I get home, I'll email it to you tonight, and they just don't make it a priority. 90% of people do that. Some people just tell you they're going to do it and then absolutely forget. Some people just don't know what to say and they don't want to sound, maybe they have bad spelling, or they just don't want to sound like they don't know what they're talking about. So it can be a little bit intimidating for some people. I'll show you the process that I use in getting every client to give a testimonial. So basically what I'll do is I will be at the place in training where, let's say I'm in the lesson, the third lesson, the fourth lesson, which we'll talk about moving forward. But usually I want them to be doing really well, getting some good success, and their dog to be really, making some big progression. Typically towards the third and the fourth lesson, that's where the clients are going to be really happy. Towards the end of that lesson, what I'll do is I will, they'll be really happy and excited, and I'll just ask them if they want to give me a testimonial. Of course, at this point, I've never had anybody suggest, no, I don't want to give you a testimonial, unless they're like a very high-ranking official in the government or like somebody in the Secret Service or something like that. But 95% of the time, people say, oh yeah, no problem. I'll email you one tonight. And here's what you can do. If you have any kind of a smartphone or an iPhone, something like that, you can basically just pull it out and say, listen, I'm going to put my audio recorder on, and here's what I want you to do. You can do it right now because, I know life gets busy and you're going to bring the kids home, and you probably, it's going to be hard to take the time away to do it. If we can do it right now, all that you need to do is I'll hit record on the voice recorder on my phone, and I just want you to answer 3 questions, okay? And you might want to write these down because they're not actually in the slide. But the 3 questions are this. What was your dog like before? What's your dog like now? And are you happy with the service? So you just give them your phone. You say, listen, I got to run out to my vehicle and grab something. I'll give you a couple of minutes to do that, and then I'll be back, and that will basically be it. So you come back in, they've recorded it for you. You can take a picture of them with their dog, or they can send it to you, whatever. I usually would just take a picture right there on the spot. Or if you're friends with them on Facebook or something like that, you could even go under their profile and ask to use one of their photos. But basically what you want to do from there is then when you get home, you can just play the recording, type it out, and then you can put it right on your website. It takes a very small amount of time. And it takes you a very small amount of time. It takes them a very small amount of time. And really, that's the big thing at the end of the day, is that most people, they're not going to make it a priority. It's not going to get done because people are busy. And so if you make it easy for people, almost everybody is going to be willing to give you a testimonial.